All right, this is Block 3, Progressives in Power. Part 2, Who were the Progressives? And the first term is Social Darwinism. We are all hopefully familiar with the evolutionary theories of Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin is a biologist who posited the theory that species evolve into different species over time due to a process known as natural selection. To make a long story short, Darwin's theory of evolution pretty much said that the fittest members of a species survive, and the members of a species that are not the fittest die. This was one of the more popular controversial theories of the 19th century, and it did not take much thought to kind of convert this theory away from a theory of biology into a theory on society. Social Darwinism is exactly what it sounds like. It's the belief that human societies worked the same way as biology worked. That is, that only the strong survived. Whether that be strong individuals, strong nations, strong races, etc., etc. The idea that behind social Darwinism is that strong countries, strong individuals survive, and weak countries and weak individuals and weak races do not survive. This theory, which sounds very plausible, this theory was used to explain the vast gaps in wealth and poverty in the late 19th century. Here's a picture of a New York City slum with the clothes hanging out to dry over this rundown, broken apartment, versus the great mansions of the wealthy. This is a mansion up on the Hudson River. The belief was that those who became wealthy were more fit human beings. They were smarter, they were harder working, they worked more, they took chances, they took risks, and because they did that, their wealth proved their superiority. Their wealth proved that they were the fittest members of society, and therefore deserving of their success. The corollary to that belief, obviously, is that the poor are poor because they are not fit members of society. The poor are poor because they are lazy, dumb, stupid, slow, etc., etc., and that simple biology could be used to explain the differences between wealthy people and poor people. And people in the middle kind of were, middle intelligent people and middling hardworking type people. That the theory of evolution, the idea that species survive, individuals in a species survive due to their fitness to survive, was very easily moved over into the realm of human relations. This belief in social Darwinism aims directly into something known as eugenics. Eugenics is the logical next step of social Darwinism. The idea that just like a pride of lions is better off if you do away with the weaker, more pathetic lions, eugenics is the belief that human society would be better off if the weaker, more pathetic human beings were not allowed to reproduce, could not bear children, would not be allowed to bear children. Many progressives were fans of eugenics. Many progressives talked about using eugenics to perfect the American race. And this would be done on a very scientific basis. These are not uneducated people who believe in this. These are, in fact, the brightest scientific minds of the day, who believed that you could perfect American society and come up with a lot more of this as opposed to that, this, not that, this, not that, that you could perfect American society by not permitting the dumb, the slow, the weak, and the stupid to reproduce. And of course, who would be making these decisions? Well, of course, the educated scientists would go around and determine you can reproduce, and you can reproduce, and you can't, and you can, and you can, and you can, and you're fine, and you can't. And this was supposedly that you would only get children from parents who were fit to exist in human society. There were during the progressive era, there was a lot of forced sterilization against people's will. because these progressives, these scientists, these believers in progress, believers in improvement, believed that the race, the society, would be improved by having its weaker, stupider, dumber, slower members not be able to reproduce. Social Darwinism and eugenics go hand in hand with progressivism because both posit this belief in improvement. And back before Hitler kind of made it, a no-no to believe in eugenics, eugenics was embraced by a large portion of American progressives.